Street in Lincoln. Here's what customers have told us they want from us. They want transparent pricing with no games. We have all of our pricing on our website, plus a Carfax report. We don't want to buy a lemon. We include a 3-month warranty on all of our vehicles. We don't want to play games. Just make it simple. You saw that with non-commissioned salespeople. Can you trust us? Just check out our Google reviews. Again, this is Carl from Price Right Auto in West O. Check us out at PriceRightAuto.com.
State Farm, this is Bill.
It finally got me, Bill.
What's that, Rick?
The Clark Street crater, the mother of all potholes.
Oh.
Year after rim-wrecking year, it's tormented the people of this town. It got me good.
But you know, State Farm's got you too.
You hear that? You ain't nothing.
You trash talking a pothole?
Yes, I am.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, maybe I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Thursday. This is the happy hour, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Nick Sainer, Enrique Alvarez Clary with you. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I am fantabulous.
That's good. We have some news.
We have news?
Just as of a minute ago, we have news.
We have news.
Is there a breaking news sounder?
Yeah, there is. Hold on. Let me find it.
Okay, I'll go through my spiel here. 464-5685. As always, you are more than welcome to chime in all hour long on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, Starter Heyman text line, once again, 464-5685, as well as on the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. You can interact with the show that way. We will get your comment, throw it up on the screen, and we will be good to go that way. So like I said, we have some breaking news. In today's breaking news, the St. Louis Cardinals have fired their manager. And the reason that they gave? Philosophical difference. So Mike Schilt
makes sense to me.
Is out as the Cardinals manager after the Cardinals were extremely hot towards the end of the season there, and now we're eliminated in the wild card this season by the Dodgers. So
the Doyers.
Cardinals looking for a manager. Rico just told me that the Yankees fired their third base coach.
It's true.
So, which is Aaron Boone on the way?
No, they believe
it
is believed that they're going to keep him. They fired their hitting. Well, they're not renewing the contracts of their hitting coach and their third base coach.
Okay.
Unfortunately for Phil Nevin, the lasting impression that he'll leave on this season, or the final impression, is sending Aaron Judge in that wild card game against the Red Sox when he definitely should not have.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Everything's fine.
How are you doing right now, seeing with like the MLB playoffs?
I haven't watched a single game after the wild card round.
Okay, I'm super excited for tonight's game between the Dodgers and Giants because you have 109 win teams in a do or die game.
And it's not in the championship series.
And it's not the championship series.
Wild.
Fantastic. Give me all that.
It's called good baseball.
It's a very good sports night as well. You have the Eagles-Bucks tonight. You get to see Tampa Tom go up against Jalen Hurts.
Eagles-Bucks Thursday night football. They really put the Bucks on Thursday night, huh?
They put the Bucks on Thursday night.
All right, Jalen Hurts. Do your thing.
Yeah. And so it'll be the Eagles-Bucks tonight. We also have the San Francisco Giants and the Dodgers. So it's actually a pretty decent sports night. And we're getting ready for Minnesota here in Lincoln. We will talk to Randy Johnson.
Not in Lincoln.
We will talk to Randy Johnson of the Minnesota Star Tribune here at 2:30. Give us a preview on Minnesota. I'm curious to ask.
Not that Randy Johnson.
Not the Randy Johnson, unfortunately. But we will. I'm curious to ask him what Minnesota's going to do at running back. I know a lot of other shows have already kind of talked to their guys about it. And Tanner Morgan's not having the most, exciting year, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been asked to throw, or he's going to be asked to maybe throw a little bit more. It'll depend. That's what I'm going to ask Randy about here shortly when he joins us. But right now, I want to ask you guys this question: 464-5685. I asked Happer this question earlier today when he and I were talking. And right now, it seems like this week, we're all talking about the Nebraska needs to get to a bowl game. They need to get 6 wins. What's the path? What's the path to 6 wins?
3 wins.
Yes.
3 more wins is the path.
3. We are on a path.
3 more wins is the path.
So Nebraska sitting at 3 and 4. Their games coming up: Minnesota, Purdue, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Iowa. There's a path there, but this game is very, very important. And I kind of mentioned to it or alluded to it on Tuesday. Rico was out on Tuesday, so welcome back, Rico.
Hi.
First show in 3 days.
It's been a while. Did you guys miss me? I missed you guys.
But I kind of alluded to it, is that this is the game that Nebraska needs to win comfortably to an extent, I suppose, if they really want to show that they're turning this program around and want to separate themselves from some other teams in the Big Ten West. This is a type of game that you need to win.
Do they need to win comfortably? Like, do they
and I guess by comfortably, I'm saying 10 points or more.
So like 2 scores.
Yeah. So to where you're not sweating and Nebraska doesn't have to do a 2-minute drive.
Where if they drive down the field, they're not going to tie the game or beat you.
Exactly. Where Nebraska doesn't have to do a 2-minute drill that we've seen against Oklahoma and Michigan.
They have not gone well.
They haven't gone well. A game like that, where it's either Nebraska's defense, which you have more confidence in than when you're talking about either side of the ball, whether that's stopping Minnesota on a 4th down. And we get this off the text line. Corey and Lincoln just get a W. Yeah, obviously.
That's kind of where I'm leaning with this. Like, would I love to see Nebraska handle a not so great Minnesota team this year? Yes, I would love to see that. But as long as they go out and they win the game and they don't look completely inept on any side of the ball, offense, defense, or special teams, if they just look competent and they win the game, I don't care how it looks. I don't care how many points they score. Go out, win the game, get better, go into the bye week high off a win, and then come back and beat Purdue and then face Ohio State with two more wins under your belt and look to get 3 or keep it close. Although I wouldn't want to keep I understand, people are done with the being close and the moral victories, right? And that's not what you want. You play to win the game. You want to win the game. Against Oklahoma, people were counting them out. They went there. They played really well. They could have won the game. Yeah, they didn't. Against Michigan State, it was, it's a coin flip game. Michigan State's really good, but Nebraska's doing really better. Again, should have won that game. Could have won that game. And then against Michigan, they weren't really counted out. They were like, okay, this is a pretty good Nebraska team. Coulda, shoulda, didn't win that game also. So against Ohio State, it's one of those where you're going to go in. You're not going to be the favorite. And I understand you don't want to just keep it close and lose the game, but if you can, I know, I keep saying I know, but it's like, if you have 4 losses this year to top 10 programs and they're all close, that to me is also a sign of this program moving forward.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to erase what we've seen in the recent weeks, because I'm kind of in the same boat as something that Tom said at the back half of Tom and Bach there, was saying that Nebraska's consistently played well, just not consistently won. And so I agree to that to some extent. And at some point, Nebraska and Scott Frost and the staff is going to have to get over that hump. And I feel like this is a 2-game stretch where you should get over that hump. And I'm not saying that Minnesota and Purdue are program-defining wins. I'm not trying to allude to that at all, because it's not a win against Michigan. I mean, last week at the same time, we were having that discussion of, if Nebraska can put together a short little streak here,
this could be the game that turns Michigan. It around.
Yes, and this could be the game that we look back at the end of the season. If Nebraska is able to go 5-1 or even 4-2 in their last 6, we could look back and say, yeah, they lost against Oklahoma, Michigan State and stuff. But in terms of Michigan, that was the game that Nebraska really showed that they belong in the top tier of the Big Ten West. Because at this point, and looking at the record, because yes, they are 3-4, looking at the record, you say Nebraska is a middle of the pack, if not lower, in the Big Ten West. But in terms of eye test, in terms of what you see, not on paper, you say Nebraska could be the 6th best team in the whole conference. So it's a very sticky and very interesting situation. But that's where I look at these next 2 games against Minnesota and Purdue and say Nebraska could get 2 wins. They've played. This will be the 8th game in a row for them. But they know what's on the other side. They know a bye week and off weeks on the other side.
But don't look too forward to it.
Yeah. And then you come back with hopefully 2 weeks of game plan under your belt for Purdue. And I'm sure I'll get this on the text line about, well, they lost to Illinois. Yes, they did. And we can't forget about that.
They lose to Illinois. Neither one of these teams coming up. Both of these teams coming up are better than Illinois, but neither one of them is neither one of these teams is Michigan, Michigan State, Oklahoma. And you played those teams close. Both of these teams are probably better than Northwestern also. But you have to go in there and you have to handle your business. It doesn't have to be a 21-point victory, but it has to be a victory, and you have to do things that you've been working on all fall and during this season. You have to do those things well. You have to shore up your special teams. You have to shore up your offensive line that is now down an offensive lineman. Even though he was a true freshman, he only started in 1.25 games. You have to shore that offensive line up and keep Adrian clean and healthy for the rest of this season, and going against 2 teams who their seasons are not over. They can still both make bowl games, but they are not looking to win the conference anymore. So what they're just trying to do is get to a bowl game. So they are also going to be playing very desperate.
Well, and don't forget that Minnesota is coming in off of a bye week. So that gave
getting healthier
that same thought that we said about Nebraska having 2 weeks next week to plan for Purdue. Minnesota now has had 2 weeks to plan for Nebraska. They had a game against Michigan to kind of look at and see how Nebraska handled their business and take that into tomorrow's game, or Saturday's game. So on the flip side, but I guess what I was just saying is that these are 2 games. And if you want to take it in a smaller group, this is a very good opportunity going up against a team that is thought to be in a somewhat similar situation you are, right? Nebraska and Minnesota are usually seen on the similar playing field
lately,
in recent years. And despite what happened last year with the whole COVID deal and everything like that, I'm flushing all that because I feel like this Nebraska team is much more improved. And I don't necessarily know quite yet about Minnesota, but that's where Randy Johnson will fill us in. But here's what I'm saying is Nebraska has an opportunity to kind of say, despite what happened last Saturday and how heartbreaking that loss was, because that was a heartbreaking loss.
That one hurt.
That one stung. I didn't think that a loss could sting more than Michigan State's, because Michigan State seemed to just have been ripped away from us.
Yes.
But then we got to Michigan, and that one burned more.
It's weird when you're not favored in a game that you still think you should be in against a very top tier opponent.
Yeah.
And you actually look as if you're going to pull off the upset, and then just a couple things don't break your way. It's weird how much that stings. Like the Illinois game sucked, but that was more of an anger loss. Like that one made you mad.
That was more of a you throw your hands up and say, "Well, what now?"
Like that one made you mad. Michigan State and Michigan, those ones like took your heart, put it up on a pedestal, and then smashed it with a hammer.
I completely agree. Because Nebraska kind of showed on Saturday against Michigan. They forced Michigan to do things that they were uncomfortable with, that they hadn't done. Turn over the football. They sacked McNamara one time.
Yes.
Something that Michigan doesn't do.
McNamara had not been sacked very much, and he had not thrown an interception. So Nebraska did 2 things. that Michigan team was not really accustomed to. I mean, they did the same thing against Michigan State. He had not thrown an interception. Nebraska goes in there and picks him off. So the defense stepped up and made the offenses for those other teams uncomfortable. And the offense for Nebraska, despite the struggle in the first half to even move the ball and get down and score, that third quarter, they did something that not many teams have done against Michigan this year, and that's go up and down the field and score pretty easily.
Yeah, and so I didn't think that a loss could hurt more than Michigan State, but Michigan, I personally felt like it did. So if you can go in and show on the road, which I don't need to tell you guys this, but Nebraska's winless on the road this year. I don't need to tell you that, but
Nebraska in the Scott Frost era on the road does not fare well.
So stick to what you've been doing the last couple weeks. Show improvement. Show that you are changing the program in a positive way. And go out and beat a Minnesota team that is having a down year. Take advantage of them being down 2 running backs. And if you're sitting from afar saying there's a chance that Nebraska really shuts Minnesota down this weekend, that's for good reason, because Nebraska's defense is playing exceptional football and has been for a consistent amount of time.
They gave up some uncharacteristic looks to Michigan, and that led to some big plays from Michigan. But for the most part, they did still a pretty good job of keeping that offense in check. But this Minnesota offense is so weird because against Ohio State, they put up 31. They lost 45-31 to Ohio State in their very first game of the season. They ended up losing Mo Ibrahim in that game. Then the very next week, they barely beat Miami, Ohio 31-26. And then after that, they smoke Colorado 30-0. And that was when people thought that Colorado was good because they were coming off of a really close game to Texas A&M, who everybody thought was good, ended up not being good, and then good again.
Ended up,
I think,
jumping a ton of spots in the AP poll because they beat number 1 Alabama.
Again? I don't know. It's fine.
Hey,
and then they ended up losing to Bowling Green 14-10. Like, they couldn't score points against Bowling Green. And then they barely beat Purdue at Purdue 20-13. This Minnesota team is so weird. I don't know what to expect. They ran the ball pretty well, but as you said, they're down their their second starting running back.
They're down Trey Potts, and
they're down to possibly a true freshman running back who you don't really know what you're going to get from him. And then Tanner Morgan, after completing like 60+% of his passes last year, is not having a great year passing the ball. Granted, he is down 2 all-conference wide receivers.
Ottman Bell's banged up right now.
And Rashad Bateman went to the NFL last year, so he's down, some great wide receivers. But you would think a guy who was pretty accurate last year would still be able to do it, and for some reason this year he's off. So their offense is struggling. Their defense is okay, but not great. They're slower than Michigan, but a lot of defenses are slower than Michigan. So maybe if you can take advantage of that and get to the edges, the offense will be able to thrive. But again, this Minnesota team is so strange, and you don't really know what you're going to get from them.
Tanner Morgan on the year, 47 of 90 through the air, 709 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Just to give you some reference, I'm going to skip over last season due to COVID and everything. But his numbers in 2019, 210 of 318 through the air, 3,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So pretty big jump from 2018 to 2019. Obviously, Minnesota found success that season. But now, last season, he didn't have a horrible year. Turned over the football quite a bit with 5 interceptions. But now this year, number one, he wasn't expected to be asked to throw the ball a whole lot this coming into the year.
It was supposed to be handed off in play action.
Yeah, they really liked what they had in Mo Ibrahim and Trey Potts.
They were supposed to look like the Tennessee Titans. He was supposed to be what Ryan Tannehill is to the Tennessee Titans. You turn around, you hand it off to your running back, and every once in a while, we're going to have you throw it deep.
Yeah, and so we'll talk to Randy Johnson here of the Minnesota Star Tribune. He covers Minnesota football up there in Minneapolis. So we'll ask him, what do they expect out of Tanner Morgan from here on out? Because that's something that's kind of interesting as well. All right, I need to admit this. I forgot to play the game show on Tuesday. I also forgot EAS on Tuesday, so I started hearing buzzing in my headset.
So many things you forgot.
Because I was just entrenched in my own conversation. We were talking about Scott Frost and everything.
You guys got him off topic. He didn't know.
Yeah, and so, Rico, I put the music in there. We got it sounding official. I shorted it up, and we're ready to go. So call now, 464-5685. Let's play Two Truths and a Lie.
Call right now, 464-5685 to play Two Truths and a Lie and win $25 to Muchachos.
I was a roller skating waiter at an A&W root beer stand. I have taken a bubble bath in Oprah's bathtub.
I can't lie! On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, 464-5685. Call right now. Two Truths and a Lie, $25 to Muchachos. Today's athlete is Cam Taylor-Britt. I'll give you 3 lines. 2 of them are true. 1 is a lie. You tell us the lie, you win Muchachos. 464-5685.
And if you're waiting for him to say them before you call, guess what? Not gonna happen. Come on, people, line it up. You know what? You want to know what it sounds like right now? You want to know what it sounds like? Oh, it's not. Oh, hold on.
There it is.
That's what it sounds like. Call.
464-5685. $25 to Muchachos.
You can get yourself a pipeline burrito.
It's super easy. I think you guys have seen that it's pretty easy to win because Adrian Martinez was easy. Jojo Doman was pretty easy.
Pretty simple. Oh, my goodness.
We have callers?
Yeah, just lit up.
All of them lit up all at once.
See?
Bach's going to help us out.
Up.
He's going to let us play the game show here. And we'll get a name, and we'll be all good to go. That's all right. We got this.
Yeah, Adrian Martinez was pretty simple. Jojo Doman was pretty simple. We've got Cam Taylor-Britt. It's not going to be impossible, but it's not going to be easy.
I will say, Happer and Rico help me out with these each week. So it's kind of a team effort.
Well, it should be. It's me and your show,
our
game show, so I should help you.
So I believe we should have somebody there, but
maybe. We'll see.
We're waiting for Bach to turn around. Also, coming up towards the end of the show, I'll give you guys. I want to know: would you rather be 4-2 and lose to, 4-2 or 3-2 on the rest of the way, losing to Minnesota and Wisconsin?
Okay.
Or would you rather finish 4-1, lose to Iowa?
I guarantee you, everyone's going to say 4-1.
Is it that simple?
Yes.
All right. 464-5685. Two Truths and a Lie. We have Justin on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Justin, what's up, man?
Justin, are you there? Justin's not there.
All right, Justin's out. I believe we go to line 2. Craig, how's it going, man?
Good.
All right, are you ready to play? You know how this works?
I think so.
All right. Here are your 3 sentences about Cam Taylor-Britt. You tell me which one is a lie. Number 1. CTB set a career high in tackles and pass breakups on Saturday against Michigan. He had 11 tackles and 3 pass breakups. Number 2, Cam Taylor-Britt wore number 17 his freshman year. And number 3, CTB was recruited to Nebraska as a quarterback.
Let's try the second one.
Are you saying the one that is a lie is Cam Taylor-Britt wore number 17 his freshman year?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Craig, that is incorrect. Give him the horn. Thank you. All right. We have Bosif. All right. Bosif is on the line. Bosif, how's it going, man?
Bosif.
Hello.
Hey, Bosif, how's it going? Bofus. Sorry, man. Did you hear the 3 sentences?
No, you put me on hold and it went to mute.
All right, perfect. Here are your 3. You tell me which one is a lie. Cam Taylor-Britt set a career high in tackles on Saturday against Michigan with 11 tackles and 3 pass breakups on Saturday. Number 2, Cam Taylor-Britt wore number 17 his freshman year. And number 3, CTB was recruited to Nebraska as a quarterback.
Number three.
That is correct. Cam Taylor-Britt, he was a quarterback in high school, but he was recruited as a defensive back or an athlete, however you want to categorize it. So congratulations, Bofus. You have won $25 to Muchachos. Hang on the line. Bach will get your information. We'll get you hooked up there. Appreciate it. All right.
Look at that.
See how simple that was? That was pretty easy. So, yeah, Cam Taylor-Britt wore number 17 his freshman year at Nebraska. So good stuff there. We'll pick it up, and we'll play it next Tuesday. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Randy Johnson of the Minnesota Star-Tribune next on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit OStreetCarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill has food and drink specials every night for all the games. Enjoy jumbo pork tenderloin for $8.99 and 90-cent wings for Monday Night Football, or come for Thursday Night Football with chicken fried chicken, steak, or pork for just $9.99 and $20 Coors Light aluminum buckets. Watch college football on Saturdays with an Aggie sandwich for $9.99 and Coors Light specials, and catch NFL Sundays with Bloody Marys and more. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Nebraska really needs to make sure they don't go down as the best team to not make a bowl game.
Think about some of the guys that wouldn't, if they don't end up in a bowl game, that wouldn't go to a bowl game. I mean, Adrian, perhaps he could come back next year.
JoJo Doman.
But yeah, the guys on like the two safeties. I mean, that would be horrible.
I know.
That'd be awful.
Because this team is absolutely good enough to be in a bowl.
Yeah, they're a bowl team.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill has food and drink specials every night for all the games. Enjoy jumbo pork tenderloin for $8.99 and 90-cent wings for Monday Night Football, or come for Thursday Night Football with chicken fried chicken, steak, or pork for just $9.99 and $20 Coors Light aluminum buckets. Watch college football on Saturdays with an Aggie sandwich for $9.99 and Coors Light specials, and catch NFL Sundays with Bloody Marys and more. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
One host has a red beard and thinning hair. The other also has a red beard and thinning hair. One host got married over the summer. So did the other one. One is a diehard fan of a sub-500 AL Central baseball team. So is the other. Can these two radio hosts do a show together without getting confused as to their own identity? The same couple, Happer and Shaper. Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Is your furnace or heat pump ready for winter? Call Bryant to schedule your home heating check. Comfortable, safe, efficient. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating, 467-1111.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center Waverly is now hiring for all shifts. They're a 24/7 facility and a clean environment to work in. There's potential to earn up to $25.25 per hour with opportunities for overtime. They also offer a retention bonus, as new team members are eligible for a bonus as high as $1,000. Come be a part of the Tractor Supply team. Apply today at www.tractorsupply.jobs.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. It was a tough week for local Class A football teams in Lincoln. Lincoln Northeast lost to Creighton Prep 48-10. Lincoln High also lost to Kearney 34-14. Lincoln East fell in a tight contest against North Platte 41-38. Lincoln Pius beat by Omaha North 40-21. Lincoln Southwest fell this week to Papillion La Vista 28-7. Outside of Class A, Norris had a big win over Crete, 48-7. Lincoln Christian won with a large margin of victory, 57-14. Lincoln Lutheran also won this week over Bishop Newman, 30-17. In volleyball on Monday, Fresno State commit Shaylee Myers had a monster game for Lincoln Southwest on senior night. She would finish the game with 21 kills to help sweep Lincoln East in 3 sets. Her 21-kill game set a new school record. They sit number 3 in the power rankings as playoffs get closer. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
Now back to the happy hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here on the happy hour, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, Enrique Alvarez Clary with you. Congrats again to Bofist for winning $25 to Muchachas, playing Two Truths and a Lie. We are now joined on the Honda of Lincoln hotline by Randy Johnson of the Star Tribune out in Minneapolis. Randy, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good.
Awesome. Appreciate you doing this on a little bit of short notice ahead of Nebraska, Minnesota. So I guess we can start here. It's a pretty common question for, I'm sure that you guys have dealt with quite a bit. You guys lose Mo Ibrahim. You lose now Trey Potts. Where does Minnesota go now in terms of the running back room? And how much success, I guess, do folks expect from that running back room now?
Well, you know, the running game is the Gophers' bread and butter, so they're going to keep running it. Basically, they're down to their third team back will likely be freshman Marquise Bucky Irving, true freshman out of the Chicago area. He's been the backup to Trey Potts since Potts took over as a starter when Mo Ibrahim went down. He's shown a good burst and everything like that. Fast runner, pretty quite a bit of explosiveness. But I think you also see a reliance on kind of a committee approach also. Probably the guy in there second might be redshirt freshman Kai Thomas, and then you have a redshirt sophomore in Cam Wiley, and then a redshirt junior in Bryce Williams, who's seen some action over the years. So it's they had said that they were likely going to go by committee when Ibrahim went down, but it turned out Potts took a big chunk of the load. But they probably will go more by committee, a bit more by committee this time, I would say.
We're joined by Randy Johnson of the Star Tribune out in Minneapolis. Outside of the running back room, what is Minnesota's biggest question or concern from here on out, but more importantly, going into Saturday?
Well, I think they need to get their passing game going a lot better than it has so far this year. They've had some injury issues. Their top receiver, Chris Offenbell, basically has missed 3 games and played sparingly and one or two others just because of an ankle injury suffered in training camp. They also have a pretty good receiver in Dalen Wright, a transfer from Texas A&M. He had missed the Purdue game because of a death in the family, but he'll be back. They expect Offenbell to be a lot healthier this week after having the bye week off.
Who is a guy on Minnesota's defense that may not be the leader necessarily, but Husker fans will know his name by the end of the game on Saturday?
Good question there. I would think it'll be Jack Gibbons. He's a senior linebacker, a transfer from Abilene Christian. Started down there for 3 years, and he's filled in pretty much seamlessly here for the Gophers. Been a pretty good find for the coaching staff, and he's been solid. Solid with next to Mariano Sori-Marin, who was banged up in the Purdue game, and Gibbons took over and basically led the Gophers some tackles and had a pretty solid game.
Outside of Adrian Martinez, who is the offensive player on Nebraska's squad that Minnesota is preparing for?
Well, I think they're trying to prepare for everyone. I know that a little bit of triple option look there with Nebraska, and I'm sure they're get the eyes on the receiver Toure. He's been pretty explosive, and I imagine they want to keep him in check if they can.
We're speaking to Randy Johnson of the Star Tribune. Randy, here in Lincoln, we always have discussions of kind of the state of the program. And so that's where I kind of want to turn it over to you. In terms of Minnesota, when you're talking about the Gophers program as a whole, how does the fan base, how does the guys covering the program, how do they feel about the job that PJ Fleck has done in kind of turning that program in a positive direction in the last couple of years?
Well, obviously in 2019 things went very well when they ended up 11-2 with a big win over Penn State and a bowl win over Auburn, a final top 10 ranking, and that was a huge turning point for the Gophers there. They haven't reached that level yet, returned to that level yet. Last year finished the game below 500. This year they're 3-2. This game is really important for them against Nebraska. It'll say a lot what direction the program is pointed. He's done a good job of getting it to a decent level. Now it's a matter of sustaining that level and going forward from there. It's they don't. You can tell this year they don't have the two NFL wide receivers in Tyler Johnson and Rashad Bateman that helped them have such a great season in 2019, and they missed that quite a bit.
I guess I want to talk about one specific player here in terms of 2019 and 2020, and that's Tanner Morgan, your guys' quarterback. It seemed like he, was on the trending up trajectory in 2019. Obviously, you had a lot of success. Obviously, there was a lot of guys around him that helped to that success as well. What's going on with Tanner Morgan this season, where he's only 47 of 90 through the air? I understand coming into the year, he might not have been expecting to be asked to pass that much. What's going on with Tanner Morgan right now?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. Yeah, they are not passing that much. They've had the injuries with their receiving core that's hurt. And they are a running team, but he doesn't have the weapons he used to. Another part of it, their veteran offensive line hasn't actually played as well as a lot of people had hoped. They've had some pressure issues on Morgan. I think it was probably a perfect storm in 2019 of everything coming together, and it's. I don't think he hasn't reached that level himself yet. Part of it too is a coordinator change. Kirk Shiraka left for Penn State after the 2019 season, and Mike Sanford Jr. took over. Last year was kind of got short-circuited a bit with COVID and everything, and not a whole lot of prep time. Very little spring practice, and just getting used to the new coordinator, I think, has been a challenge too.
What is the bright spot in this defensive group for you guys? Is it the linebackers there with that senior from Abilene Christian, or where is the strongest position group on this Gophers defense?
I would say it's up front of the defensive line. They have a holdover at end and Boye Mafe, who's played very well, a really good pass rusher, and Thomas Rush, who has developed into a great pass rusher also. They rotate a lot of guys up front. They got a couple transfers. Niles Pickney from Clemson and Val Martin from NC State that have done pretty well at defensive tackle. They move those guys in and out. They've a little bit of a slow start in the pass rush game, but they've come on the last the 3 games. So I would say the defensive line has been the bright spot.
We're talking to Randy Johnson of the Star Tribune out in Minneapolis. Randy, I always like to ask this question when I'm talking to people that don't cover Nebraska football on a daily basis. What is your view of the Nebraska football program as a whole from kind of a watching from afar?
Well, early on in the season, they lose to Illinois right away, and I think there was a lot of here they go again. It's going to be a pretty tough season for them. But recently they've turned around pretty well and played very well against good teams. 3 unbeaten teams that they had within a touchdown to win. So basically, to me, it looks like they're a program that's turning it around. They just haven't quite gotten over the hump against those good teams. They throttled Northwestern pretty well, so that tells you the potential they have, what they can do when everything is going. But I do sense it is probably the best team Scott Frost has had in his 4 years there.
A couple more here before we let you go. Randy Johnson of the Star Tribune with us here on the Happy Hour. Randy, what is the biggest key for Minnesota going into Nebraska this Saturday? What do they need to do, whether that's on the defensive side of the ball and it's forced turnovers, or whether it's on the offensive side of the ball and trying to find a running game? What is their biggest key going into Saturday?
I think it's the passing game doing enough to complement the running game. They did just enough at Purdue with the passing game in the rain. They popped 2 or 3 big plays. They ended up winning 20-13, coming back after being down at halftime, and then the defense pitched a second half shutout. That's going to be they have to make the passing game a threat, and it should help having Chris Autman-Bell back at closer to 100% health. He could be a bit of a game changer when things are going well. They just if they don't get the passing game going, then Nebraska can just key on the run game and make that pretty tough going. I think that's the offense. That's a key. Defense. It's not letting Adrian Martinez, get loose. He does a lot of damage on broken plays and extending the play. So they're going to have to. They've talked a lot about eye discipline, on defense, making sure they can keep him under wraps.
Speaking on that offense and that passing game, I know you're getting Chris Autman-Bell back, but the loss of Curtis Dunlap to the transfer portal, how big of a loss is that on the offensive line for Minnesota?
Well, it hurts their depth a bit. They've been using a rotation basis. With Curtis has been one of the guys rotating in and out. He had started the first 3 games of the season. The last 2 he had not started. I don't think it's a massive loss per se. It does test their depth a little bit, but they have enough guys who have started games where they should be able to fill in okay. And part of it too is maybe they simplify it a bit and don't use that rotation as much and just go with 5, maybe 6 guys. Throughout the year they've used some 7-man fronts, especially in the opener against Ohio State when they decided to try to pound the ball. So it limits their depth, but I don't think it's a devastating loss per se.
2 more here before we let you go, Randy. Who is the second best team in the Big Ten West in your eyes? Obviously, Iowa's kind of separated themselves from the rest of the pack. Who's number 2?
Geez, that's a good question. I think it kind of depends on the week.
Yeah.
At one point I thought maybe it's Minnesota when they went out to Colorado and won 30-0, and then they come home and lay the big egg against Bowling Green and get beat 14-10. So that result is always in my mind here. There's times where it looks like Nebraska might be that team. They're 3-4 with those 3 close losses.
Exactly.
I mean, that shows you their potential, but they still need to turn those games like those into wins. At Purdue, and they played Notre Dame tough, but they've got some losses. I think it's just whoever can figure out a way to put it together over the next few weeks. And Minnesota has that chance with the schedule favorable, but when you look at their season so far, it's the inconsistencies make you pause a little bit.
You talk about that Bowling Green loss, and I'm just curious about this because I know how it would be around Lincoln if Nebraska lost to a Bowling Green team. What was the vibe like following that loss? Because like you said, you go to Colorado, you look promising, you have the win against Ohio State, obviously, or not, excuse me, the close loss against Ohio State, and then you come back and you lose to Bowling Green. What was the vibe like there within that program?
It wasn't good. I mean, it's fans were not happy, obviously. Kind of the old here. Here's the same old Gophers. Here they go again. Losing to some really lower division team or whatever. Bowling Green played a very good game. You got to tip their hat to them. But the Gophers, basically, they had things go wrong in several different areas, several different times of that game. And I would say too, the coaching staff had to take a very long, hard look at themselves in the mirror and put that on themselves because it was not a well coached game.
Yeah, we're all too familiar with the oh no, here we go again kind of mentality every now and then. All right, last one here. For Husker fans making the trip up to Minnesota, what should they know? Where are some cool places to hang out? What should Husker fans know ahead of Saturday's game?
Well, let's see here. That's a good question. It's 11 a.m. start. There's a pretty good big brew hall not too far called Surly. It's a few blocks away from the stadium. That's a good place, I'd say. There's a few places in the Stadium Village area where people can gather. There's a Buffalo Wild Wings right across the street from the stadium. And there's a Dinkytown area that has some places. It just kind of depends on what you might want to do. There's always stuff like, say, the night before. There's plenty of places in the Twin Cities, the restaurants and things like that.
Awesome. Randy, we appreciate the time as always. Good luck on Saturday. Enjoy the game, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Okay, appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
That is Randy Johnson of the Minnesota Star Tribune up in Minneapolis. Appreciate the time from him as always. All right, let's take our final time out. When we come back, we'll dive into Husker volleyball, and we'll wrap up Thursday's show next on The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Is your furnace or heat pump ready for winter? Call Bryant to schedule your home heating check. Comfortable, safe, efficient. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating, 467-1111.
Happer and Shaper.
Welcome to my slam poetry. I don't think it's like that. Reading books. Listening to books.
Please cut all of this.
Keep going.
Reading.
Technology is the worst. Just like poetry, but not slam poetry.
Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Tom and Bach.
Somebody says on the text line, come on, where would we be without Adrian Martinez? 3 and 4? Apparently.
That's the good argument, is that I think they would be 3 and 4 without Adrian Martinez.
They'd probably still be 3 and 4. Yeah. But I think he has, at the same time, he's played pretty well. You wouldn't have been in all these games that you've been in without Adrian, though.
They're
You wouldn't
way
have
better with Adrian. You wouldn't be the best 3 and 4 team in the country.
That's right. That's right.
Weekdays from 11 to 2 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill has food and drink specials every night for all the games. Enjoy jumbo pork tenderloin for $8.99 and 90-cent wings for Monday Night Football, or come for Thursday Night Football with chicken fried chicken, steak, or pork for just $9.99 and $20 Coors Light aluminum buckets. Watch college football on Saturdays with an Eggie sandwich for $9.99 and Coors Light specials, and catch NFL Sundays with Bloody Marys and more. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Hey, buying a used vehicle sucks, and the biggest problem is who can you trust? Hey, this is Carl from Price Right Auto out here at West O Street in Lincoln. Here's what customers have told us they want from us. They want transparent pricing with no games. We have all of our pricing on our website, plus a Carfax report. We don't want to buy a lemon. We include a 3-month warranty on all of our vehicles. We don't want to play games. Just make it simple. We saw that with non-commissioned salespeople. Can you trust us? Just check out our Google reviews. Again, this is Carl from Price Right Auto in West O. Check us out at pricerightauto.com.
Building a house today is completely different than it was a year ago. It's great. It's a great time to build a house.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
Interest rates are fantastic. Our lot selection is fantastic. Being a large volume builder like we are, we tend to get very good discounts from our suppliers, which has been very helpful. So if you want to build right now, it's a great time to call, make an appointment, set a budget, sign a contract. You're locked in. I'm locked in. Let's figure out your location. Let's get that lot reserved. It allows you then to have some freedom and room to sell your home for a great profit. In the end, it's going to be a win-win for you.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and joining me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, are you there?
Yes, I am, Charlie.
Hey, Andy, I saw on television you have more than 500 new Hondas in stock or on the way. Now, I'm sure the listeners would like to hear more about that.
Well, Charlie, it's true. We have truckloads of new Hondas arriving just about every day. What's different is you won't see them on the lot very long because most all of them are pre-sold. And that's what we're encouraging all of our customers to do is get in here, get their order in as soon as possible.
Well, tell me, Andy, will they have to wait long?
Not really. It could be a few days or maybe even a few weeks, but not long at all. So I really invite everyone to come on out and experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Thank you, Andy. Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln.
Prost, beer drinkers, and get ready for the best Oktoberfest party in the city at Kincaid Brewing Company in the Haymarket this Saturday, October 16th. Stop by anytime from noon to 10 p.m. Admission is free, and there will be live music going the entire time. Cornhole begins at 1 o'clock, and Stein Stamina goes from 2 to 6 p.m. Buy a beer Stein for $20, and you'll get your first fill free. Plus, a German Oktoberfest-inspired menu made from Grata will be available for food throughout. It's Oktoberfest from noon to 10 p.m. on Saturday at Kincaid Brewing Company in the Haymarket.
Now back to the happy hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
No, Rico. We're not supposed to be doing this. Back here on the happy hour one final time. Thanks again to Randy Johnson of the Star Tribune for his insight in Minnesota ahead of Saturday's game. Okay, I just saw this come across my Twitter sphere, and I wanted to talk about it for a moment. USA Today, they have their college football coaches' head coach salaries database updated. Okay. A couple jumped out at me just looking real quick. David Shaw gets paid $8.9 million a year at Stanford.
Well, Stanford is very expensive.
It is. Scott Frost comes in at 17th on the list at his annual contract of $5 million.
Okay.
The buyout as of December 1st, 2021
we gonna talk about that.
Would be $20,416,667.
That's a chunk of change.
Yeah. Dabo Sweeney's buyout, $47.5 million.
Dabo's not getting bought out.
It's not getting bought out.
The only way Dabo leaves Clemson is if he leaves of his own volition.
Listen to this. Jimbo Fisher obviously just signed a massive deal.
Jimbo.
$95,575,000 buyout. Chump change.
Oh my goodness.
$95,575,000 if Texas A&M fires Jimbo Fisher.
Did y'all hear that number? $95 million to buy out Jimbo.
That is wild. We thought Bo Pelini's buyout was bad.
Who is his agent? My goodness.
He just beat Alabama, though.
He did just beat Alabama. He did also barely beat Colorado.
Ed Orgeron comes in at second on the list, $8.6 million a year.
Well, they're going to pay that.
His buyout is $17,150,000.
Yeah,
or $17,150,000.
Yeah, they're paying that at the end of the season.
So, here's an interesting one. Pat Fitzgerald from Northwestern.
Patty's never getting fired.
He doesn't have a buyout.
Patty. Oh, okay. I was gonna say he owns
But
that school.
listen, he's getting paid $5.7 million a year.
Really?
To coach Northwestern.
Again, expensive school.
A team that got beat by Nebraska 56-7. So
yeah, but also a team that has won 2 Big Ten West championships.
You're right. So you take your wins. All right, Rico. We have a couple minutes left here. Give us the question here.
Okay. It's weird. We were workshopping it for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we finally settled on, as a Husker fan, as a Nebraska fan, would you rather be, hold on, I got to pull this schedule up real quick just so I can make sure I'm getting it right. Would you rather be 3-2 with a guaranteed loss to Wisconsin, right? That's what it was, right?
Yes.
Or 2-3 with a guaranteed win over, who did we say?
It was Minnesota and Iowa.
No, because that would be
Ohio State and Iowa.
No, because that would be the 2 wins.
Yeah.
Or
but you don't make a bowl game.
Yeah, or 2-3 with guaranteed wins over Ohio State and Iowa.
Yeah, but you don't make a bowl game.
So 3-2, you make a bowl game, but you're losing to Wisconsin and one other team.
Mm-hmm.
Or 2-3, you beat Ohio State and Iowa, but you don't go to a bowl game.
Those 2 wins could be monumental.
And I'm not saying you lose in blowout fashion. I'm not saying you win in blowout fashion. You win the game, you lose the game.
Mm-hmm.
3-2, guaranteed win over Wisconsin. Then you get 2 more wins and 2 losses. So if you choose Ohio State and Iowa, that means that you're losing to Minnesota and Purdue. Or 2-3, no bowl game. You lose to Purdue and Minnesota, but you beat Ohio State.
Yeah, and Big Sky says this. So 3-2 means loss to Wisconsin, but that means you beat Iowa or Ohio State. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what if you don't beat Iowa? You still go to a bowl game. Interesting stuff.
It's like a coin flip. Like I'm giving you that loss to Wisconsin, and then you're getting 3 wins.
I don't know. Something to think about.
I don't know, man.
All right. That is all for today. Thanks again to Randy Johnson of the Star Tribune in Minneapolis. We will be back tomorrow at 2 to get you guys hyped up, juiced up, ready to go for Minnesota. One-on-one with DP is next. Everett Gray joins him at 3. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Adios.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank.